Right, let's compare cockpits, shall we? This front panel and the side panels are from the Jaguar kit, which I've made when I'm going to do the spare cockpit off. And this is the Italeri raised detail cockpit and panels, 2-seat T2 Jaguar, but you have to paint the details yourself. So I don't think there's much difference, to be honest. Actually, I sort of prefer the painted yourself version. So I'll just move that out of the way a minute, because if I show you, it gets closer now. We're far away so I can get closer, if you know what I mean. There we are. See, it's got raised details, so I painted black. Did a bit of a wipe over with a dry brush of some grey to have some contrast with the black. Oh, my steaming up. Oh, if I show you a closer up picture without it steaming up. I've used the edge of the cocktail stick to do various dots of white and silver and reds and things to try and where the raised detail is for the cockpit. Similarly, I've done that with the panels. So we've got the radar in the middle. I painted sea green and then a bit of gloss over the top of it there, and some white and silver dots for the dials and switches and whatever. I test fitted the main parts of the 2-seat Jaguar T2. As you can see, I'm doing the black version, which is in Cosford at the moment, and it's going to be very easy to paint because I just paint it all black and then do a bit of gloss over the top after I've deckled it. But that's everything else in tape, by tape really. There's a bit of a gap here. I don't know if it's supposed to be this much where the panel joint is. See, it lines up with that panel line, but then you got a gap there, so I might have to fill that somehow. See the gap there more? Anyway, that's what I've done there. As you can see, I started putting it together and I've already come across some problems. Well, things I don't like about how it's made, how it's designed. Now, you've got this square section, this rectangular section here. The connector tabs are on the inside, so you've got tabs along there and there. So you have to, the part has to be pushing against the sides, but then have to be pushed together as well. So it's very tricky. So I don't understand why they do it, because I'm left with a bit of a step there that sticks up there, because you've got to try and get it both same level and everything else like that. It's all really needlessly tricky. When if they'd had the tabs on the fuselage itself and the square part, could have just rested on those that way, into the fuselage. So it could have rested on, been put on afterwards on top, rather than holding it underneath and squeezing the sides together and trying to get it to fit together. So as a bad design as far as I'm concerned. But and the wings I've got attached, but you should be able to see quite clearly there. There's a big gap between the fuselage and the wings, yeah, both sides. Now it's not as if there's anything. There's no gap here that could be pushed together. So underneath here, so that's the fuselage hasn't been crushed together to make that gap. So what I got to do now is put some filler from over there onwards to get rid of the gap. So that's the fuselage issues I come across. Other than that, it's quite a snug enough fit. Then I put the cockpit panels, control panels on the cockpit, obviously, to there. I followed the exact instructions of which one to put where, but by doing so, they're the wrong way around, because there's a bit of a tight tight squeeze, we line that up to where it should be on the back. You find that there's barely any room, if at all, on the front, and then on the back panel there's a big gap there. So I think these are the wrong way around as well. So I'm going to have to take those off and swap them around again to make them fit, or make them fit better. So that there's not this. That's not going to close up, I don't think. Let's try it bigger now. No, we're not going to close up very easily, and although it does close, it's really not the best of fits, is it? And then you got that big gap up there. You can fit a cocktail stick through, more or less. You can see that thing's in the way. I can see it. There we are. The gap there you go. So it's definitely the wrong way around, I think. That should be there. That should be there. So the instructions have lied to me, and some of the parts don't fit as well as I'd like them to be fitting. But and the design is silly putting it that way around. So anyway, onwards. So I test fitted the air intakes. I got the interior part stuck down already, but just checking I got the right outside part for the side, because there's slightly difference. It's not perfectly rectangular, so I check against photographs to make sure it's the right one. I've lost confidence that the instructions are correct, so I think they were correct this time though. So there I got them taped in place. I'll glue them next. The gap has been filled in. Pretty satisfied with that as far as it goes. I'm not going to make too much of a thing of it. I'm not going to try and have it too perfect, because we'll never notice anyway. But it's not a big gaping obvious gap anymore. And with the cockpit itself, I've swapped the control panels back around, so now it fits pretty much as you hope it would, really. It's right height there. So there we are. Right, keep working on the cockpit now. I put the seats together, and they've got a little bit of a painted harness, and yeah, besides them, the different size heights on them, but I think one is for the front and one is for the back, so I'll have to work out. I think the taller one is on the front, in the front, and the smaller one is on the back, obviously, by deduction. So I'll have to try that out with a we'll try for the canopy first. But I've put the interior in. Got cockpit tub, one like that. I've also added the control columns. You can see those there, little sticks. So I'll be adding some weight to the nose, and maybe some in the back and the under here as well, but not too much, because I want to leave this empty, because I think that's where some of the wheels go under when they're all retracted. So for now I'm keeping the parts taped together so that I can make sure everything glues in the right place. I've now glued and pre-painted the intakes. I'll be doing some more painting on them again, I'm sure, but I've also pre-painted the back end all black, so that I can mask it off and do what I did with the other Jaguar, and put some steel metal effect paint on this part here, and yeah, but it's best to pre-paint it black first. It's going to be the black version of the aircraft. So 2-seater like that. Alright.